Hi, guys. Good to see everybody. Just one injury update. Kamir Prescott will be out for the year. Hurt his knee last week, unfortunately, in a practice. So we wish him the best. He's done a great job since he's gotten here. Really good person. And I think our whole team was sad for him. But other than that, we have, as of today, we have everyone available for game one from the start of camp. Today's marks the end of training camp for us. They start school on Monday. They've done a really nice job so far, improving. We still have a long ways to go, obviously, but I'm really pleased with the growth I've seen, the things I've seen, the way the teams come together, the way they work, and excited to start this next phase. Ended with a scrimmage today. Thought all the sides did well, special teams wise. First time we did some. Stacked throughout the course of the scrimmage, special teams reps. So anxious to go out there and see, on the tape what those guys did, and take this next week, really ending in a mock game next Saturday as our chance to see, what a game week will look like, especially for guys that are new, integrating classes, learning how to both be a student and adult in season. They've done a nice job in the spring, obviously, but in season, there's a whole different set of rigor upon it. So excited for the concert tonight. I think it's our university's done a great job, and our athletic department's done a great job of utilizing Memorial Stadium to bring in events, and so look forward to having all those people there. And they've done a nice job with all the concerts in Savannah and Banana so far, so that marks the end of it, and then we can get back to the stadium being for football, and excited for football season to start. With that, I'll take your questions.
Hey, Coach, with camp coming to a close, kind of a house cleaning question. I assume Anthony is your starter at quarterback, and if so, what have you seen from him kind of handling that role for you?
Yeah, Anthony would play for us right now. All the quarterbacks have done a nice job. Anthony, I think the biggest thing is he's very competitive, very fiery. He expects to win every play, and but he's done a nice job of disciplining himself to also take what's there, and makes nice checks in the run-pass game, can throw the ball deep, and I think the biggest thing is he extends a ton of plays with his legs, which takes a lot of pressure off of the offensive line and the backs in protection and puts a lot of pressure on the defense.
How many plays was the scrimmage today, and what kind of things did you guys work on?
It was yesterday was mainly a situational end of game day. So today was special teams, and it was just kind of moving the field. Tried to stack long drives together, so even if it went didn't get a third down or fourth down, we moved the ball up just to test our conditioning on offense and defense. I don't know the total amount of plays. It was somewhere in the range of probably 110 was what we were aiming for. So if it was 113 or something, 112, I think a couple times I let them play it out. And then we ended with a live Hail Mary against the defense. They can practice knocking it down. So it might be about 113, but it was scheduled to be about 110 plays.
I know you like the options at running back, but how does that position look with the live work as you maybe look for separation? Is there any at this point?
I think the backs have all practiced hard and played hard, and that we have another week for them to all continue to accelerate their game. The live work today, seeing guys get tackled, we didn't put any balls on the ground, which is good, and I'll have to go back and watch the protection. We're not an offense that you can have a ball carrying specialist. You also have to be able to protect. So anxious to see the scrimmage tape and see who's where.
And Coach, do you guys plan to announce or name captains this year, like season-long captains, and then also the single-digit thing was a tradition you brought here. Is that something that will continue with how you name the players single digits?
Yes. Yep.
When's the timeline? When do you hope to do those?
Yeah, soon. Yeah. But it's one of those things we always kind of do when we think it's right. So I'm going to get through today. I mean, a lot of these guys it's their first training camp together, so we don't want to assume anything. We want to give guys a full. I guess it's been about 3 weeks, full 3 weeks to build a resume of. It's one thing to be, gritty and tough and care about your teammates in the summer and the off season. It's a lot different when you're trying to fight through the grind of camp. So get through camp, and I would think that'd be pretty soon.
What's the number 2 quarterback picture look like? What do you see from those two guys?
Danny and TJ would both be in the mix for number 2. So we'll watch this tape and see kind of where they're at.
You've now progressed through a lot of different phases of the offseason with a number of new coaches, six new assistants, changes at multiple coordinator spots. What can you say about the job that everybody from Rob on down have done assimilating into here and getting to a place where they're ready to coach in games?
Yeah, they've worked really hard, but the true test will be what we do in the games, right? Knowing worst thing is when you hear a coach say, "Hey, we practiced really well," and then you get beat, badly. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is a production, performance-based business. So they work really hard. They are extremely detailed, trying to learn a new way of doing things. Because every team is new, every season is new, and certainly every head coach you work for and every university you're at's new. So I've been very pleased with them. Been very pleased with the staff. But to me, it's how you handle the season, how you handle game planning, how you handle the rigors of being here. The travel, the weather, all those things, like who could be the same guy every day. And so far so good, but a lot remains to be seen.
How was the battle at right tackle that you're seeing between Gunner, Tree, some of those guys, and was Tree able to play today?
No, Tree didn't go today. Hopefully have him back this week, but I think we're all very, very. I think we all feel like no matter what, at any position, Gunner's one of the best 5 for us.
What have you seen from Dawson Merritt as he looks to grow off that first season?
Dawson's very talented. Yeah, he's extremely athletic. Has a great feel for the game, and he's put together a good camp.
So when you talk about the captain subject, how different is college football now, where it used to be kind of like your 4th, 5th year guy that's been around are your captains, but now in this portal era, you could have a new player, in some cases, be a captain of a team.
Yeah, I've never had a captain until last year. That group of kids came to me and said they wanted a captain. So we always had kind of game captains, and at the end of the year picked our season-long captains because it's easy to be a great leader when things are convenient. It's hard to stand up here and answer the tough questions when things aren't going well. Whether that's the players coming here to talk or talking in front of their team. So I've always felt like the season gives you an opportunity to display leadership, in the good times and bad. So, I don't care who that is. I don't care if that's a freshman. I don't care if, I had a kid, Sean Chandler, way back when, who had a nice NFL career, who got a single digit as a freshman. He just worked so hard. So it'll be interesting whether we vote for captains now or not, or wait till the fall, or wait till the end of the season. We'll see. And we'll certainly do the single digits. And, it's one of those things I let the players decide. They have to decide their leadership, and they have to have they can either make it a popularity contest, or they can make it hey, who's really about it. And so I hope they make good decisions, whether it's captains or not, or leadership council. Like, we vote on all those things. We pick the Unity leadership councils throughout the course of the spring and summer to get different guys exposure. But once they get into the season, they have to pick it, who's representing their position. And so they have to pick wisely. And, we're hoping we're entering a phase with this team and this program where it's not, whose feelings are going to get in the way, but it's really just, what's the right thing for the team.
Hey, broadly speaking, some of the guys that you recruited when you got here are a lot older now, and you also brought in some veterans on defense. Ballpark number. How many defenders do you feel like are above the line and can play for you guys in competitive games at this point?
I don't.
Defensive.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a great question. I'm not great with math. I think we're probably in like 15 to 18 range. You know what I mean? Like that you would feel like you can rotate to be a starter and get that winning level. That might be a little less, might be a little bit more. I don't think we'd put our entire 2 deep in the middle of a game at once. I just don't know that we're there yet. We still have time. I think, as a coach, one thing I've learned is you play those first couple games, you really start to see who really. It's one thing to do it when there's no one out there watching. It's another thing to do it when there's 90,000 people watching, and who loves those moments and who shies away from those moments. But I've been pleased with the depth. But I think we've done studies. In this era of college football, most great defenses are playing 18 guys, 17 guys, and so I feel like we have guys that can play probably in that 17, 18, 19 range. I think.
Where do you feel like the best depth is on the 3 levels?
It's probably the same everywhere. Maybe defensive ends. Probably, I think we can get down. We can get to your 3rd group on the defensive ends and feel like you got tough, rugged kids still playing. Not that the other kids aren't. I'm not saying that. Just like we started out rolled out day one. I think we had like Ochoa, Markway, those guys going with that 3rd group, and I feel like those guys were showing me that they're good enough to play. So I feel like that's a position of probably a little more depth than everybody else.
Does that speak to recruiting, Manning's coaching? What does that speak to that you were
It's all
able to
of it.
develop that?
Yeah, it's all of it. Patience too. I mean, who a kid was 2 years ago is not who he is now. So, like Ochoa, I think put on 30-some pounds from the end of the season till now. So, it's recruiting guys, that you feel like are going to that can be developed and want to be developed. There's, the man who can't is the same as the man who won't, right? I could never run 4.4 when I played. We have some guys who can run 4.4 who won't run 4.4 because they're just not as motivated. We have some guys who run, 4.5, 4.6 that run that all day long. Find the winners and get them on the field. So that's why these scrimmage days are so valuable.
Matt, when will you guys begin Ohio prep? Will that start right when you hit the field next week?
Thursday. Yeah. So, we've studied Ohio all summer long. We have a great feel for what we want to do, but our belief is always, this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are still our team's development. Then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the mock game's kind of a head start on the first opponent, and then take Sunday off and come back. Players take Sunday off, and then Monday come back, and it's a normal game week.
Along with that grit mindset, I know the guys talk a lot about brotherhood. Is that something you can tell at this point has grown, or is that something that you have to get into the season to see how guys respond?
I think it's both. I think certainly, when we talk about brotherhood, we're talking about, guys who will lay down for each other, guys who will sacrifice for each other, guys who aren't going to make it about just one player, guys who are going to, be happy when someone at their position has success, even if it affects them negatively. We talk about, iron sharpening iron, holding each other accountable. There's all these different aspects to brotherhood that we feel like are important on the team. And when you bring a bunch of new people in, whether it's, to Mitch's question, a bunch of coaches coming from different places or a bunch of players, freshmen, guys who've been here, guys coming in, we just don't want different, you can be friends with who you want to be friends with off the field, but we don't want different cliques. We don't want this is the guys who are here, and I haven't seen any of that. But true, when everyone's getting equal reps and everyone's getting practice, everything's great, right? When you get in the season and this guy's touched the ball 8 times, this guy's touched the ball 2, who's truly going to have joy when the other guy makes a play? And so all signs point to that being well, but it's something I think you have to coach and teach and demand every day.
Speaking of special team, how is your punter and your place kicker?
I think they've done a really nice job. We're blessed that we have 2 kickers who've kicked in, Power 4 games. I always remember Johnny, Ohio State 2 years ago, injured for a part of last year. We've especially with Brett being here full time now, both he and Kyle doing a great job. Michael getting reps as well. The snapper, Jack has been a really great addition. Camden is probably one of the better holders I've ever been around. And Archie just continues to develop. And so, learning how to deal with the wind, learning how to deal with different punt returners, adding to his arsenal, like kicking into the south end of our stadium on one of those windy days, keeping the ball low, kicking it away from the returner. Archie continues to grow.
Back to the ends for a second. Coach Manning yesterday was talking about he's not using that word sack quite as much, but rather to kind of collapse or pressure the pocket. Could you elaborate on what maybe that looks like in practice with guys maybe trying to rush 4 as one?
Yeah, we obviously want sacks, right? But the true measure is how many times you pressure a quarterback and get him off his rhythm and off his spot. So, we talk about the paint. That's the area. If you think about a basketball, a guy taking a charge, they have that little painted area. Like we want to get, if the quarterback's the rim, we want to get in that area directly in front of him. We want to affect what happens to him. On offense last year, we definitely took too many sacks, and it wasn't always just one guy came off the edge and sacked. And a lot of times it was that guy getting the quarterback off a spot, and another guy with great effort showing up. So we want to disrupt the quarterback, disrupt his timing. We talk about protecting and affecting the quarterback. So when we protect the quarterback, it's not giving up sacks; it's giving him a clean pocket to throw from, not letting him see color in his face. And then on defense, it's the inverse, right? We want to affect the quarterback, move him off the spot, give him things to see. And so collapsing the pocket and pushing the pocket, especially when they're facing Anthony and TJ every day. Those guys get out, and it could be an explosive play. So in practice, we want to rush in a competitive speed while at the same time staying away from the quarterback and specifically, in front of him, because that's where the quarterback comes down, breaks his hands. So we try very hard. We show him hard knocks. We show him everything like this, how you practice like a pro. But we want to set great angles that we are collapsing the pocket and having the quarterback be under duress. So we definitely want sacks, but that's not the measure of what we're doing. It's really pressures and getting them off the spot and disrupting timing that truly affects the game.
I know as a head coach, you got to look at everything, but when you just focus on that line of scrimmage, your offensive line and your defensive line, what does that picture look like?
It's a very positive work in progress.
Circling back to the leadership qualities and stuff, has there been somewhat of an unexpected player throughout fall camp that has really stood out to you as stepping up and talking with you guys?
I think it's been all of them. I think, I've had very few distractions, less so than everyone before. And, I think the days of having that one guy that gets up and gives a speech that gets everyone fired up are probably less. I think, nowadays it's probably more, and I think as a leader, you have to be willing to lead and be led, If Jameer Khan and Owen Stoudemire in the weight room, and they're trying to bench 400, Owen's probably going to, implore Jameer. If they go out and run gassers, it's probably a little bit more Jameer and say, come on, Owen. I think that's true leadership, is when we're all pushing ourselves to meet a standard, exceed the standard, and set a new standard. And so I've seen a lot of that diffused leadership, while at the same time, guys not being afraid to hold each other accountable and tell each other. And that's the secret sauce. Sometimes you get, old coaches, old players up here, and they say, "On my day, we did this." And, it's not always the way it was, number one. And number two, it's just a different world. Most players want to lead by performance. But I see all kinds of positive signs of guys holding each other accountable, and everything from run off the field, to run to the ball, to dominant contact, to make plays. They're a fiery group. They have a little bit of edge, and we just have to continue to build that edge, because that's what we need. We don't need to be told how great we are. We need to be on edge constantly, and I think we have some guys who will do that, and other guys who will listen to that.
In your time during bowl prep, working with the defensive line, have you seen any impact from that time period, and how has Corey kind of helped carry that over what your vision was in that time?
Yeah, I don't think a ton of impact by me. I mean, I think I just kind of stood in the gap. Dave Tollefson, who was at the Giants when I was there, he kind of just, we had brought in a guest who he was friends with, so he spent some time, and I knew Dave. He just kept showing up, unpaid. I didn't apply for a job, and one day I was like, hey, you should just stick around. And so we started paying him. Those are my kind of guys, Lots of people, ask me for a job. Some people just start up doing the job, and you end up hiring him. And he's one of those guys. So I thought Dave did a really nice job in the bowl prep. Phil Simpson did a nice job in the bowl prep. Roy was around at the time. But I think, all the technical improvements that we've made, both in, what Sam just talked about, collapse in the pocket, defending the run, being really diligent with our technique. I think that's all Corey Brown. That's all Roy Manning. That's all Dave and Phil. I think they have very simple, old school techniques with, some very up-to-date thought process on it, and they coach it over and over and over again. It's not this jumping around. If we did one thing poorly last year, we kind of jumped around with the techniques, and the players didn't improve on the defensive line. I've seen significant improvement, and this doesn't matter, on game days. But sometimes I watch like the 3s and 4s, and guys will probably end up being on the scout team, still helping the team, obviously, but their technique has significantly improved. Their play style, their discipline has significantly improved. I think that's a credit to Corey and them. But again, to Mitch's question, we got to see it in the games. All right, thank you, guys.